different thing, like completely unrelated projects, you know, and I can just shut one off and turn one on. Like I don't have to like get into the groove of one thing, you know. I don't know. I just have the ability to just like categorize all these different thoughts. And
Yeah, I mean that comes with time, and that is honestly a skill. Like
yeah, you
being,
probably have it too. I mean, you're working in these different fields and different industries and different topics, certainly
oh,
different topics.
dude, I feel like it's inherently like the ability to adapt.
Yeah,
And then when you develop that ability to adapt, and you can shift your focus, and sometimes you like have to, because you're working on one thing and then you have an idea for another thing, like you
yeah,
working on some other project for somebody, and they're like, oh, I need to put this in this article, this picture from here. And if you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
just like go and do it right that second, then you're going to forget, or you don't write it down.
yeah. No, absolutely. That's how it works for me for sure, especially with like Greystoke things, like just really struggling just to come up with just like a caption or just like a single line descriptive thing. And I'll just be like, it'll just be a battle. And then I'll just walk away and like walk upstairs or go to the grocery store or go get coffee or whatever. And it just pops into my head. And then I have to record it really quickly, like, so it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
Do you have a whiteboard or anything?
I have like paper notepads.
I got a whiteboard and put it, the biggest one that would fit like out of camera view, and it's full
Yeah.
of stuff that
Yeah.
I just forgot about, and
Yeah.
things that I need to do. And when I write stuff down, like my 10 minutes on the bike, 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 pull-ups 5 times a day, I don't do it.
Right.
But on the whiteboard, I've actually been doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I use notes on my phone too, but
Oh, that's
the,
huge.
the, the paper notebook is where like concrete information exists.
For real, it's so hard to stay organized. By the way, I started recording a little bit ago, but
Oh, okay.
this has been some really good stuff at the beginning. Uh, how do you stay organized with file structure and everything?
Like for just in general?
Yeah, I mean, with you, when you work on as many different things as you do, and Greystoke being like spanning decades,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have to be organized, right?
Yeah, and Greystoke specifically is tough. Like with a day job, which I'm starting a new one as we speak, within the next week. Um, that is pretty cut and dry. Like it's just desktop folders, and they're labeled, and it's months, but it's yearly, and then months within there, and then if there's different categories, like it'll be, you know, whatever, a sales folder, marketing initiatives
Mm-hmm.
folder, or whatever it is. Um, like that's pretty black and white, but super important to have it. Like the way files are labeled is just so huge. Like when someone sends a Dropbox folder and it's labeled like new photos or whatever, it's like, oh, dude, what the hell?
There's
But
no.
Greystoke is crazy because it is, to your point, it's all over the place and it's all these different contributors. So it'll be labeled like rooftop photos 2025 or whatever it is. And then it's by issue, and then it's by if there's different articles. So it'll be categorized that way too. But it has to be pretty specific. A lot of subfolders, and yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, man. I feel like I can remember the days of folders of video just being like skate park, and then
Yeah.
not relabeling any
Oh
of the
yeah.
files, and then just remembering what those things meant in the time. So like I'd know
Yeah.
file 9044 is this trick, and then you open the project a year later and you're like, what the hell? And
Yeah. Absolutely.
oh my God, over time I've gotten better at that, but dude, it's only through just failing and having to
Yeah.
spend hours deciphering what anything means.
Exactly. Just having it go wrong over and over again so you can figure it out.
Oh my God.
The worst Greystoke Dropbox folder is Greystoke miscellaneous. Like it's just this catch-all thing, and it has stuff from like 2021 or 2022 when we started working on the first issue, because the first issue took a really long time because it was like, you know, it wasn't like there was a layout
Yeah.
plan, you know, until
You had to
we were
develop it
well
all.
along in the process, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't know we didn't know what we were gonna do. We didn't even know what was gonna be in it. We didn't know what like the focus was or anything, you know, and it just kind of formed around different ideas.
And you're developing that style along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was kind of it was not a new thing. A magazine's an old thing, but
Still, you have to start. And that's honestly almost the hardest part in any kind of project is where you start, because now
yeah,
you have the style that is Greystoke. So you can kind of look back and be like, all right, this is kind of how things are formatted. This is our branding.
yeah. And we're kind of there now in issue 3. Like the 3 issues have a lot of parallels, you know, like there's a photo feature, and then there's a like the real life feature. Like the first one was called Survivors, and it was, God, I hate to even bring that one up because 2 of the people featured in that are no longer with us, which is Gremlin is one of them, and Joel Alamo is the other one.
Jeez.
About surviving like serious health issues, you know, like adult issues, and how it pertained to BMX and their BMX lives. And then there's a big sobriety piece in issue 2, and the new one doesn't have. It has a smaller piece about Jeff Cron, who was paralyzed in the early '90s and has been in a wheelchair ever since. You know, so there's a piece on that that's pretty heavy, but it's a smaller piece. But
Yeah.
but anyway, we do have kind of a format and that we've been following. So
Yeah, I'm sure that makes it easier. It's like kind of like a template that you've
yeah,
built where
for
when
sure.
you're first starting, you're developing that template and it can take so much longer to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we just had no idea. And the one thing, like traditionally a magazine, or the magazines I worked for in the old days, like they were everything was current. You know, it was like current events,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a magazine is 3 months behind current, which is crazy to wait to find out the results of like a contest like 3 months after it happened. But that's how it worked back then. But this isn't chronological at all. Like just it's some really old stuff, and then it's older riders currently, you know, so it's kind of all over the board.
That's how often are you like surprised whenever someone finds an old photo or something and you're like, oh my God, this is perfect to put in this?
Oh, all the time. Oh, dude, you don't even know, over and over again. And the hardest part with that though, like there's one that comes to mind, like this photo I found on Facebook. I didn't know who the dude was. I didn't know who the dude, it was a picture of himself that he posted. I didn't know this person. And I sent it to Will, and we were freaking out over it. It was just the raddest photo. And I messaged the person on Facebook, and they replied right away. And seemed really cool. But I was like, "Can you send like, do you have the photo? Like, obviously they have some version of the photo because they posted it.
Mm.
Like, can you send me the photo?" And we went back and forth 100 times, but he never would answer that question, and he never sent the photo. So I'm like, ugh. And that's how it goes a lot of the time, because people, like, I hit someone else up, and to be fair, these are older people that maybe aren't tech savvy, but like I asked this person about a photo that they posted, and they're like, "Oh no, that photo was taken in the '70s," and I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that, dude, but like you you were showing a digital version of it. Do you have like, you know, because for print for sure, like we could post something on Instagram or whatever with at lower resolution, but for print it has to be high resolution. It doesn't have to be high quality. You know, we print stuff that's like, you know, from a print that's kind of blown out, but it's not low res, you know, it's not some fucking jagged edge low res file, you know. So
Yeah.
that's a huge dude, believe me, that's like that and just people. And I understand it's not people's priority. Like it can't be, like some people just don't care. You ask them about something, they're like, oh, I don't know, I don't remember. It
That
was a
was
long time
30
ago.
years ago, man.
Yeah, or 50 years ago, and they're just like, I don't know, somewhere. I'm like, oh, it's so important though, but it's important to me, or we think it's important for Greystoke or for the good of the people, and they're just like, I don't know, man, I wouldn't know where to look. There's a lot of that, but and that one you can accept because you're like, okay, you're not going to get it. But the worst one is like, yeah, I'll find that, and then you're like, oh, and then they don't ever, and you they just don't ever follow up, and then you're just bugging someone about some picture.
At least like having two, now three of them under your belt, I feel like people might see those and like have a
Oh yeah.
fire where they're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, well, for sure, that's a good point too. Because with the first one, it was like this made up thing. Like like people that pay attention to BMX, like current BMX, would maybe know about Dig magazine, and you can reference that because it's from the publisher Dig, of course. But we're going like back to like people from the '70s or whatever. They don't know what Dig is or care, or they've never seen it. It's not like like you're gonna see it at the grocery store later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great point because not having any like tangible reference makes it tough for sure. But yeah, no, there's 3 issues. So
Yeah, three issues now. I'm curious, the other two obviously had to have done well to do
yeah,
a third one.
they
How
do pretty well.
like how do those runs work? Do you have to order like a certain amount of them, or
I mean, you can order as many as you want, I suppose, but if you that especially with the first one was really difficult to gauge because you have no idea.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like anything. If you buy higher quantities, if you buy in volume, the price goes down.
Yep.
But something like this, like, I mean, this is like quote unquote collectible. So, you know, in theory, someone would still buy issue one 3 years after it came out. We just sold out of issue one a couple of months ago to that point, I guess. So we maybe, I don't know, it was the right amount, but you're sitting on that inventory, if you will, for until you sell it. So, um, and then there's a surprising, kind of alarming to me number of people that have subscribed to the magazine. Then you're like, oh shit, now we gotta we gotta come through. Like they
Uh-huh.
paid for it in advance, and that's good and bad because they're kind of funding it, but then they already paid you. They're not gonna pay you again. So like, if it's a year later when the next issue comes out, like you're still like coasting on the fumes of their initial payment. And it's an expensive magazine, but it's not that much money. Like it's $25. Yeah, that's a lot for a magazine, but it's a legit thing. It's almost like a book. Um, but $25 doesn't go very far in terms of like just keeping any business afloat.
That isn't almost a book. That is definitely a book.
Yeah, yeah. So as much as like the subscribers are huge and everything, like Will and I always talk about it too because we know there's more people out there that would buy it if they understood what it was, like, because there's so many, especially now, and it's the good and bad of it, right? Because we have like through we don't really utilize YouTube much, but like through social media we have like this free channel to promote it, but just so many similar things out there that people just see every day that Greystoke is no different than whatever the old school BMX page they saw on Facebook. They just think it's another thing like that. And unless they really stop and read when the magazine comes out or we're promoting the actual product, because none of those other ones have a product, right? They're just posting old photos or videos or whatever, which is great and it's cool, more power to them. But for the average 40-year-old dude or whatever that likes BMX but doesn't pay that close of attention, he would probably like this magazine if he could figure out that it is a magazine and how to buy it and all that. So those are the things that are more challenging to kind of figure out. But
It's kind of the marketing problem that any company that produces a product runs into, is that
yeah,
you exist here, your customers exist here. Now,
yeah,
how do you get from here to the customers so that
yeah,
they know that you even exist?
yeah,
And that is definitely a problem to tackle. An idea I just had, because that's the way my brain works, is you tell me there's a problem, I'm like, okay, here, I'm going to help you fix it.
yeah.
You should bring like 50 of those down to the Buckeye Bike Show in June and set up a table, and I guarantee people will buy them all day long.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm sure they would. They I'm sure they would.
And
And we
then,
talk about that. Then it's the logistics. Like we're so proud of this tangible thing, but if you have one box of these, it weighs. I have a box of these right here. It weighs like 25 pounds. So if I'm flying to an event like that Frogtown event,
yeah,
like I'm already packing a bike and all this stuff. Like I would have to like ship them somewhere ahead of time, and then
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm just making excuses now, I guess. So.
And there's ways around. There's like ways around that too, where you just
Yeah, of
have
course.
a few of them,
Yeah,
and then like have people just sign up for it, and then
yeah,
they
yeah,
still get it. Like, yeah, you might have 15 of them that people can buy without having to pay the shipping for, or however
yeah,
that works.
yeah,
But the Buckeye Bike Show is definitely within Drive's reach for you,
yeah.
and
I know. And so it's like that Crown Point old school show is huge. Like I could just set up those tables are cheap. Yeah, I know.
I think that would be a way that you would even be able to introduce some of those guys who like don't ride at all anymore. They're just into
Yeah,
bikes, to get them to realize, or maybe want to go ride again, because they're
yeah,
seeing the people who are in there that are out there still doing it. And then it's like connecting those dots
of
together,
course.
basically.
No, you're 100% right with that.
And if you don't
I
want to
couldn't
do
agree
it,
more. That's a big part of the mission is just to encourage people to, you know, keep doing it or start doing it again or whatever. I mean, that's my
and
mission. That's why I personally like. That's a lot of why you see so much of me from me, like on the bike and stuff. Part of it, it's not an ego thing. It's just like trying to encourage other people to do the same thing.
yeah,
Or just to do whatever. Go play golf. I don't care what you do, but a lot of people just don't do anything. Sedentary lifestyle is not healthy
not at all. And
mentally or physically.
I feel like the more time goes by, the more people like you there are who are still killing it, still putting it out there on a regular basis. And I don't know, we probably talked about this multiple times over, but I don't care, because it's one of those things, just like you said, that's why you put yourself out there, is the
Yeah.
side of it being able to hopefully inspire other people. Is like, that's why we're sitting here right now.
Yeah, of course. You do. I mean, you do an excellent job of it.
Thanks. If you don't want it or can't come to the Buckeye Bike Show, just send me a bunch of those and I'll sell them for you.
Okay.
Because I don't do anything down there except for walk around and be like, tell me about this thing that I know nothing about.
No, I've never been to that one, embarrassingly enough.
It's huge.
Yeah, I know it is.
I
I've been
didn't.
to a lot of those kinds of shows, but that one, and to your point, it's like 4 hours away. It's not that far for me at all.
Yep.
Maybe this year.
You should. It's in June. I'll be there.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep. Yep.
So, as is always going to come with something like creating a magazine that's focused on older content and things, there's always those challenges, like we already talked about, of
Yeah.
Getting material and all of that stuff. It might take you a second to think of it, maybe you'll know right off the top of your head, but in issue number 3, that's available for pre-order now,
Yep.
what is the article in there that was the most like challenging to get put together, but also like most worth it to you, that you're so stoked about?
Yeah. That's a great question and a super valid question. And I'll tell you, it's an article that was so challenging. It was supposed to be. was it supposed to be in issue 1? It was definitely slated for issue 2. And it was the most challenging thing because we kind of gave up in issue 2. And then for issue 3, it was exactly what you described, like the most challenging, and will be rad when it comes out in issue 4, because we finally just gave up. We're just like, we can't, because it is just still missing like a couple of key elements that just wouldn't make it work. But so I do have an answer for that question, but I don't know when we finally. So this one, issue 3, is really focused on. I hate the term, kind of, just because of the what you would associate it with, but it's the Dead School issue. And Dead School BMX, Shad Johnson, good snakebite, that guy who's a big part of Greystoke and has been all along. He came up with that term, and it's such a perfect term. But it's from like 1988 to like about when the X Games started in 1995, like that era when BMX was super dead and like the magazines all folded and companies went out of business and dropped their teams. And if that sounds familiar, but it was that era. But a lot of really good things came from that era. Like S&M started, UGP started, Standard Bike started, all these things started. And a lot of riding really progressed during that time too. Matt Hoffman started the BS series and all that stuff, which that kind of led to the X Games. Like Matt, eventually we'll do a whole Matt Hoffman issue. Like he's just can't be credited enough with what he's contributed to BMX, not just as a rider, but all of it, and his partner then, Steve Swope. But yeah, so a lot of the focus in this issue is on stuff from that era. It doesn't have too much like 70s stuff this time around, which we can't have too much of that because there's not that many people that care about it. But the first issue had like that huge like photo feature from like the early 70s, like the dawn of BMX, be way before my time in BMX even. So, and that was really cool, but it can't be like that every issue. But the Dead School article is kind of the bulk of this one, and it's all over the board. There's a lot of different things and a lot of different people we talked to. Brad McDonald, who started Ride Magazine and Ride Publishing and all that, he started that during that era, and we talk about that in my piece with him. And it's interesting, and it certainly applies to a lot of what's going on in the BMX industry and the bike industry right now too. A lot of that stuff is a lot of parallels, So
I know all about those parallels.
I know you do. You talk about them a lot.
Oh god, it's funny.
Yeah.
So,
but like now, there's companies and people that just like just kept trudging forward. Like I'm not out of business. I'm still going, man. Like, I mean, that's how I personally feel now. But I didn't then, man. I worked in 1988. I worked for a magazine that was part of that whole thing, and like they pulled the plug on the magazine. And I mean, I lived in California, and just like, okay, I guess I'm moving back to Michigan, like, which I kind of wanted to do anyway. I could have found a job probably, but yeah, I mean, it really did, like, just the bottom dropped out, the BMX at that time. And it's been around long, and we talk about it in this article, but at that time, like, it hadn't been around, like, it's been around long enough now. There's so many generations that kind of overlap that it ebbs and flows, of course, or it quiets down a little, but it doesn't go away. It doesn't stop, and just back then there weren't enough earlier generations to balance it out. It just when the bulk of riders stopped doing it, it just kind of went away.
Yeah. How ironic is it? I don't know if you've had this realization yet, but you worked for a magazine that went away when BMX died. Yeah. And now you are making a magazine about when BMX died while it's dying again. And it's not, but the magazine you're doing is like, it is doing well. It has to be if you're going to keep making it and people are pumped about it. So like,
yeah,
that's ironic, but also a testament that like that concept of BMX is never going to die.
It never dies, right? No, of course. Yeah, it certainly occurred to me, Brant.
You're writing this like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, even when I posted on my personal Instagram a little while ago, like just being the editor of a BMX magazine in 2025 to me is like absurd. Like people ask what I do, like my wife's office Christmas party. I don't say I'm the editor of a BMX magazine, but I am. It's kind of funny. I
Yeah,
hate being asked a question anyway, but
dude, it's the worst. I mean, we talked a little bit about that stuff before I started recording this, but it's like when you've done it as long as you have, the way you have, like you don't look at this like work. So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know how you could answer. How do you answer that question?
Yeah, I don't know. Someone at my wife's office, Chris's party on Saturday was like, "So you're into cycling, right?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I hate this conversation so much." And then her husband, who had seen that cover of that Frogtown, it's just like really a program but it is a magazine, and I'm on the cover. It's like, "You're on the cover of a magazine, right?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I just don't want to have this conversation," I don't. I'm not embarrassed by it or anything, but like it's too much to explain. Like it's too weird. You're as deep in it as I am. Like trying to explain BMX, especially when you're fucking old dude like I am. Like, yeah, well, it's BMX. No, it's not cycling. I don't ride a road bike. In
It's
fact,
biking.
yeah, it's biking, but
It's
it's not
BMX.
cycling. It's not the same thing. No, I don't ride mountain bikes.
Uh,
No, definitely not a road bike. I don't even think about road bikes ever. That's
it's
a different thing.
like those normie people. Anything that is beyond just I go to work, I go home, I eat dinner, and I go to bed is like significant when that is
Yeah.
what your life is. So, like, they're probably looking at you like having no idea what to even think.
Well, that's just it. That's why I hate the conversation because I can't. There's no way. I mean, I'm gonna show them a video. Like, here's a flatland. Flatland is a very specific type of BMX riding, and I don't really do it, but I just filmed this video in the garage the other day. If you want to see this, that'll give you an idea.
And to
Although it has nothing to do with anything.
us, that it's just normal. Like
Right.
our lives are like on a grander scale of what's normal and just
It's our normal.
yeah, exactly. It's normal to us to fall from, a ramp or at the trails or whatever and like hit the ground really hard. But if any person at that office Christmas party fell from 4 feet up onto themselves, they'd be completely broken.
I felt so hard. Two different times. I have that mini ramp in my barn, and when I say a mini ramp, it's not 3 feet tall. I think it's 28 and 30. It's really for skating, and I ride it kind of. It's not much to ride, but I felt in the flat bottom twice. So hard. The last one was like flat on my back. Just like, dude, it's like 10 at night. It's freezing cold out there, and I'm laying in the flat bottom of that ramp, like, I can't believe I just did that. Like rolling backward, like looped out going backward. So you know how that is. And I felt so hard, and I'm like, not even factoring in my age or any of it, but just like, dude, what what the hell? Like it's just comical. Like it's ridiculous. Like Lance Mountain said in that Tony Hawk documentary, that great documentary that came out a couple years ago. He was talking about riding or skating at our age, because I'm in the same age as those dudes. It's like you're watching your grandpa like fall on the ice or fall off a ladder, and I'm like, God, that's exactly what it is. Like you don't want to see it. You don't want it to happen.
But grandpa's conditioned his body to hit the ground for 30 years.
Yeah, he's done it so many times they take it.
Oh my gosh. And just thinking about what every other person who's not in action sports or an athlete at all, who's that age, is doing at 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
oh my God. That is who Greystoke is for.
Okay. It is. I've said it before. I think I said it when the first issue came out. It's not about me, but it's what I'm about. And that is definitely accurate.
That's that should be a shirt. For
For,
real.
just for me to wear.
Oh,
I'm gonna
and
print
like,
it out.
I don't know. I think people would identify with that if that was like on a sticker or something for Greystoke. That is,
Maybe it will. I gotta write it down. I got the notepad.
there you go.
My phone that we're recording this is on my notepad.
Well,
There.
I love that. It's
a good one to end on, Brant.
Yeah, we're done.
I don't know. We don't have to be, but
well, just I guess I've kind of sprinkled it throughout us talking here, but like the point of us talking right now is Greystoke issue 3 is at what point in the process?
Oh, it's I think its printing process is complete. I think it's been printed. It's very close to have been printed, but it's printed in Europe, so then it has to ship to. It ships from BSD actually in Scotland, and then it ships here, and then it will be shipped out. So
people can order it right now?
Yeah, so you can order it now, and it's not like pre-ordering it to like fund production or anything like that. Like it's in the final stages. Yeah, so it'll be shipping in the US within the next week and a half or so.
Oh wow, that's way sooner than I thought when you said it's gonna have to come over here. Well, that's awesome. Can you give the like minute or so preview that would make someone want to check it out?
Time waits for no one. Greystoke issue 3 is a bit. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I did write these blurbs for it though. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you what's in it.
Yeah, just whatever preview you can give that would make people want to or pull the trigger on ordering.
Okay. Greystoke magazine. This is issue 2. This is issue 1. It's 132 pages on high quality paper, like perfect bound. That means like square bound, like a book. By writers, for writers. This issue has a piece from Chris Moeller, writes a very, very interesting perspective of how he sees things, called Dog Bites, which is awesome. There's in the last issue, and then again in this issue, we have like a writer that, and I love this concept. Like last issue was Ian Morris. He did a feeble down this crazy brick ledge in like the early 90s, and he went back and did it again and documented it again. We have another feature like that with a dude grinding a rail like in the dark, which is insane. And this dude's like in his 50s. There's a Pee Wee Herman tribute, which is pretty amazing. Chad Johnson contributed a lot to this. He's big at the mid school. This is kind of pre-mid school. It's dead school. Quite a few features from him. The main interview is with Dave Volker, which is pretty rad.
Sick.
Talks about Cole Volker a little bit. There's a photo of he and Cole riding together. So that's kind of rad. Cole is obviously very much a current top dog. So kind of connecting the dots between the generations there. Cool. Huge piece on the dead school. There's an article on the original pegs that are like pegs we use now, like bolt-on pegs or axle mounted pegs. Because I don't know if you know this, Brant.
Are you going to tell me about fork bosses?
Screw onto the axle before, which is insane.
Oh yeah. So was that before the bosses on like forks or frames that weren't the axle?
The very first pegs, I think I'll go out on a limb and just say that Skyway, who makes Skyway Tough Wheels, made the first. They were aluminum axle pegs, and they just screwed onto your axle. They screwed on not in place of the nut either. Like if you wanted your axle to be, ideally your axle was long enough that you screwed it on. Somebody will probably freak out that I'm saying this. You screwed on it in addition to your axle nut. Like your axle nut is tightened against your fork, and then that peg screwed onto the end of it. And they were aluminum, and they were like 2 inches long, and they would strip out and they hurt your feet, but they just stripped out instantly. And then there were a little later, like GT made pegs that were bigger, but they did replace the axle nut and they screwed on to the axle, but they were steel and they didn't strip out necessarily, but they were short and heavy and clunky. But this is about the first pegs that were like socket, axle nut holds the peg on. Brad McDonald, big feature, which is awesome because Brad is unlike the people I was talking about earlier because he remembers everything. He remembers the detail. He's super prompt, responsive, and he understands. I mean, he's a publisher, of course, so he understands like the importance of print quality. And in fact, like pushed back on some of the photos we wanted to use. He's like, "Oh, we can't use that one. It looks like it was from the Civil War." That was the quote because it was like his own personal photo, and it was kind of in rough shape. There's a piece on some collector stuff. The piece on Jeff Cron, the writer I talked about, who was paralyzed and now is like a wildlife photographer and takes these amazing photos of owls and foxes and stuff. A couple more features on bikes, like the one of one bike. Then the Lifers article, that's usually focused on people that are still doing it. So it's like, and this one is kind of cool because even I don't even know who a lot of these dudes are. It's a few like UK guys.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
Is
some rider. Oh, that dude that you rode with.
Alan's in it?
Yeah.
Let's go. I was hoping.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yes. Yeah. That's so sick.
And a really cool feature from Mark Luman, who was the editor of Freestyling magazine, like super influential magazine in the 80s. But he was really a writer, but it's a photo feature from him that's really cool because it's like behind the scenes, but from within the scene. It's like this insider's view from the outside, if that makes sense. It's super, super cool. And it was really generous of him to let us use those photos because he kind of didn't want to. He's just one of those things where I want to make a book or whatever, and he did let us use some of them. So
that's awesome.
So it's like a photo he took with Spike Jones on the deck taking a photo of a rider doing something rad.
Okay.
Or that's like a pretty point blank example of what's in it, but it's also like just kind of cool, like just dudes dinking around, behind after hours at the magazine office, stuff like that too. So it's really cool, super cool. And he wrote like a whole piece about his perspective.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of it.
Sounds great.
Oh, and the outro, which I'm kind of, here's a funny story about the outro. It's a photo of this dude. It's a super rad photo that Crandall took of this dude named Chuck. And he's doing like this fast plant. It's really boosted. And he's like, I think he's in his early 50s, but he has gray hair. He looks like an older dude.
Chuck
he looks
Hargis.
Like a real normal dude that you would just see at the skate park. And the article is I wrote it, but it's about the stigma of being like the old guy at the skate park. And it's also kind of a rules list of like what not to do and just to not be a creep and not, don't tell people your life story. Don't tell people your history. Don't try to teach kids how to act or whatever, But the funny story about that is I see this dude all the time. I live in a small town, and when I mail stuff out, like when I mail Greystoke copies out, I would see this dude, and he's probably like in his 40s. Who knows how old he is? But pretty haggard dude with like a super gnarly gray beard and gray hair, and he's on a BMX bike, like a crappy BMX bike, but with 4 pegs, and I'm like, God, that's the photo I want. And I would see him all the time. And when I finally kind of developed this idea, I was like, I gotta get a photo of that guy. Like, I'll offer him $5 or I'll buy him coffee or whatever. I don't think he was homeless. He's just like, dude, And I didn't see him for the longest time, and I kind of gave up on it. And we ended up with this photo of Chuck, which is much better anyway. But I still would have used this photo if I had it. And I saw him again more recently, like when it's still in time to get it in this magazine. I saw his bike was like locked to this pole, and he was sitting on the curb, and I was on one of my stupid little motorcycles that I ride to the post office, and I was like, oh, dude, it's your last chance. You got to do it, because we were getting close to this magazine being done, and I couldn't make myself do it, because going back to the other thing, like having to explain to this dude why I wanted to take a photo of him. And I'm a kook. I'm a way bigger kook than him. I'm riding a 60-year-old 90cc Honda down the road, on like a Saturday morning. But I couldn't. I think I'm pretty eloquent. I'm eloquent. I couldn't in my mind like develop a proposal to this dude in enough time to do it. Like,
Yeah.
what do I say to him? Like, I want to take your picture for a magazine. Okay, well, there's no magazines anymore. Like, I'm just assuming you know what someone's thinking is always dangerous anyway, but like, what the hell is this dude going to think I'm even talking about? Like, what am I doing? I want to take a picture. Here's $10. Like, I'm going to give him money for it. That's even weirder. Like, nothing about it. I couldn't make it make sense. And I just gave up. I just rode past him and rode home.
Man.
He's not in it, but Chuck's in it, and Chuck's rad.
You're talking about Chuck Hargis?
Yes.
He's
Chuck is a great grandfather. Like, the math is complicated, but he's a great grandfather.
That dude. I rode with him when I was in North Carolina. Did by far the scariest thing that anyone did at that session, and that could be done at that skate park. And he's in his 50s, and he fell 6 feet trying it after he had already landed it once, and all of us were like, dude, that was good. And he's like, no, I want to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
He kept trying, literally fell off this like end of the skate park. It was a bowl corner, but it was pool coping, and it was only like, a foot wide as it curved around. He rocket manualed around this.
Yeah.
Got it good one time, but didn't go back into the quarter. All of us were like, dude, so good. That's just good enough. And he's like, no. And then on one of the attempts after that, he goes like at its peak, it's 6 feet up, and he falls. Yeah. I mean, he's like 8 feet tall, but he's still, super tall. He fell all the way to the flat bottom, and then gets back up and tries it again, and he landed it better than the first time, but still not what he wanted, and he still wanted to keep going, and all of us were like, no, it was good. Don't do that again.
Yeah, he's that guy. And I think I only rode with him once. I met him a couple times, but I got to ride with him in Richmond this summer. It was such a great crew. And he's really dialed. He's not like a loose cannon or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's really in control, but he does really dangerous shit. Like, dude, don't do it a Bubicon that. Like, you're going to flip. Like, the stakes are way too high. That's all I was thinking. It was like, oh my God, dude. Like, I would never do that.
How
dangerous. It's dangerous, Grandpa.
How many people in the whole world have done a disaster on the 10-foot quarter before the box in Lot 8 at Woodward?
Has he?
He is one of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, did he ride in one of those USA BMX?
He did it in his run.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. I never put two and two together because I met him. I don't know. I met him a couple years ago, but like it was long after that. And I remember because I wanted to ride him in one of those contests because they had like the Masters. I finally did ride in that one that was in Detroit, and it was fun. I got second, but yeah, I remember watching because they showed their whole run.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I did it, they weren't doing that anymore. But I made the highlight reel. I was happy.
Yeah, Chuck's amazing. And it's awesome to hear that both him and Alan, and those are just the couple people that like we've even named out of who knows how many that are in here. So that's awesome.
Man, I hope I'm not eating my words on Alan. I think Alan's in it.
If he's not, you're just going to have to put him in one eventually because he's definitely deserving.
Yeah. Whoa. Damn it. I don't know. I could look it up.
Well,
pretty sure he's in it.
If he's not, he will be eventually, so it's okay.
I'm pretty sure he's in it because he's doing a trick. He's doing like one of your tricks.
Oh, I feel like I can see it in my head right now.
It's like a lawnmower.
The downside lawnmower ice pick. Yep.
Maybe not brand level,
That's
but shit, I don't know.
well, either way.
One layout I'm not seeing right now.
Either way. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, I know
Oh,
where it is.
hopefully.
Okay, anyway, hopefully he's in it. Hopefully he's in it. Sorry, Alan, if you're not.
If he's not, he's just gonna be one day. That's all it is.
Alan Sibley. I
Yes.
get Alan Sibley and Alan McNaughton confused, and I don't think I've ever met either one of them. But Alan McNaughton named Greystoke.
Oh,
He came up with that name.
that's
Like talking
awesome.
to Will. I'm not sure how it came about, but he came up with that name.
That's awesome. So where can people go to order this right now?
Greystoke BMX.com, is that what it's called?
Let's find out. Yep. That takes you to it.
GreystokeBMX.com. Yep.
Issue 3. Oh, wow. This is how oblivious I am on the internet. I've been seeing that cover photo all morning, and my method on the internet on Instagram is scroll like, scroll like, scroll like. I just look at it, don't read anything, and like everything my friends post.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even put two and two together.
Well, how'd you know that the new magazine was out?
As soon as I read Greystoke issue 3 available, I messaged you.
Okay.
I didn't even look at
You
anything.
didn't even read the caption?
Nope. I just was like, nope, this is here. I want to help them. And so that's why we did this.
That's awesome. I like how you do business, Brent.
Hey, I'm just here to help.
It's really bugging me now. I hope I didn't speak out of turn on that.
Well,
I have a layout somewhere, but I don't know. Sorry, Alan.
it's okay.
I mean, congratulations, Alan, or I'm sorry. I'm not sure which one. One or the other.
Either way, are you on a scale of Greystoke issue 1 and 2 being like your previous, bars? Where you at with this one?
I think that was a big. That was a big thing with issue 2. Was like, because I was really proud of issue 1, and in issue 2, I was like, oh man, we set a pretty high bar for ourselves. In issue 2, and the big thing with issue 2 was the Rad magazine photo archive, which is this photo is insane, is from it, and it's a big part of this issue. And I didn't have anything to do with it. Like, I didn't write the captions, I didn't edit it, I helped choose the photos with Will, but that was it. And when I got the magazine and held it and looked at it, and it's super colorful and everything, that was the one thing with issue 1. It was like the cover's black and white, and a lot of the early 70s photos are black and white, of course. It's just how they were. We kind of maybe blew it a little bit with that because it makes it seem like the magazine's black and white or something, which it isn't, of course. But then this one was so much more colorful. So for issue 3, I don't know. It's so hard to see because until it's in my hands, like it would be in your hands, I don't see the whole thing. Like I look at PD, like I wrote a bulk of it, or transcribed interviews or whatever, and I read everything and was really hands-on with it. But until it's like finished and you're looking at the whole thing, it's hard to say. But I think it'll be good.
It has to be good. You made
How's
it.
that for selling it? I think it'll be okay. I think we maintain our level of quality and presentation from the previous 2 issues. I don't think we'll disappoint anyone with that.
I mean, it's one of 2 big full production magazines in the BMX world.
Yeah.
Both being affiliated with Dig. So
yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to complain.
No, I don't think they will. Like the Volker interview is super rad. Jared Stoney did that whole thing. He's another just total pro. You may not be familiar with him, but
I know the name.
Yeah. He's just still a high level photographer in Portland, like design guy. Kind of unassuming, super rad dude. But
hell yeah. Well, either way, it's available now. Everybody go pick it up. I'm gonna place an order as soon as we get done with this podcast. And
yeah, shops that have it, like Dance Comp and Albies and Empire and Powers and Planet BMX and all those shops have it.
Sick.
Or will have it too. So it's available in a lot of places.
Awesome. So ask for it at your local BMX shop.
Yeah, so, Vans Bike Center in NorCal, like places like that. Circuit BMX, it's in tons of shops. Like the shops really came through with supporting it with ads and stuff too.
That's really cool.
Because from issue 2, like looking at the ads, like they're showing the ad on the back cover, and then there's the GT ads, and there's like, oh, we're not getting those ads this time, you know. So, yeah, but pulled it off.
Cool. So Greystoke on Instagram, Scott Towne on Instagram, greystokebmx.com. And if you don't order it, well, then you're not going to ride into your 50s and 60s like Scott gets to.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Won't be able to buy a new bike.
Thanks for your time, Scott. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to get my hands on this.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
See you, everybody.